Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another round of the Camping Universe Truck Series. Today, for the Food City 175, it will be 175 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway, the high-banked half-mile circuit here in Tennessee. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James Eastbury. The action, 1080p, 60 frames a second, as single car qualifying is underway. But let's look at the current points, as we have 12 drivers that have made it into the first round of playoffs. Again, only 12 drivers making the cut. It's Clark Janekin, Jared Ziegler, Marshall Newton, Caleb Nelson, Jeffrey Sykes, Cody Schultz, Nicholas Wing, Corey Melton, Kevin Nelson, Antonio Bianchi, Spencer Chisnall, and Brian Ziegler making the cut and making it into the first round of the chase. Let's see what's going on in qualifying for our drivers, as a large portion of the fields already put down times. Let's check on Antonio Bianchi, the open wheel extraordinaire, and the number 51, to see what he can do in qualifying. Right now, pole is owned by Nelson with a 14.7. Chisnall second, Janekin third, Melton fourth. Bianchi clicks off of 14.85, good enough for second place here. Let's see who else is out on track. Cody Schultz in the number 30, Ford F-150, making his way around. Schultz first time, a 15.13. Let's see if he can improve on that, his second time lap. Historically, this has been a track where a lot of the drivers put down their fastest lap time at the beginning of a qualifying run. As yes, Schultz will click off a 15.14, unable to improve on his fastest lap time. The only drivers that have not qualified now is going to be Danny Chandler, Levi Opus, Jeffrey Sykes, and Daniel J. Jensen. This is going to be very interesting. We've got about 18, 19 drivers out here, 12 of which are in the chase playoff, and all of which that are still be coming out battling strong here today. So just because the driver's not in the chase playoff doesn't mean they're not going to come out here and try and pick up a first win of the season. All of these guys are racers at heart. They want to put down the best times they can, pick up some wins, and represent their sponsors well. As Robinson and Nelson, Kevin Nelson, hanging out on pit road, still waiting to see if Chandler, Opitz, Sykes, or Jensen decide to go out. Sykes may be hinting at it. He is in the 04 machine, but he has a bit of internet problems. That is the last thing he wants here coming into tonight's event. Sykes with a very bad hiccup in the 04 machine. Not sure if he's going to be able to get that fixed, but that is bad, ladies and gentlemen. So Sykes attempts to get down a qualifying time, but Chandler, Opitz, and Jensen never go out on track here. Little surprised by that, because tracks such as Bristol, I would imagine you want the best starting position you possibly can to maybe avoid any carnage you could find yourself involved with. But we're going to get them gridded up and get ready to go out here. As we try and get all of our drivers out onto the track, get ready to get this race going. As let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Caleb Nelson in the 07 machine. Nicholas Wing in the 99 starting second. Antonio Bianchi, the open wheel pro, he's starting third in the 51. Chisnall in the number 24 will be starting fourth in the grid. Janekin in the 81 starting fifth. Melton in the 48 starting sixth. Brian Ziegler in the 7 starting seventh. Newton in the number 76 starting eighth. Miak in the 95 starting 9th. King in the 28 starting 10th. Jared Ziegler in the number 8 will be starting 11th. Cody Schultz in the 30 will be starting 12th on the grid. Then we've got Brighton Hutchins in the 84 starting 13th. Brian Robinson in the 37 starting 14th. Kevin Nelson in the 09 starting 15th. Jeffrey Sykes in the 04 starting 16th. Daniel J. Jensen in the number 29 starting 17th. Levi Opitz in the 31 starting 18th. And then Danny Chandler in the lucky number 13. He'll be starting 19 to round out our grid here today. As this was going to be an exciting one, ladies and gentlemen. 175 laps around the high banks of Bristol. As these drivers are currently getting briefed in the drivers' meeting. Every week they go over any new updates or any pertinent information that they need to know before coming out on track to go side by side around the high banks here at Bristol. As well as a bit of a pep talk for the guys, reminding them a few of the rules and kind of what's expected. As we hear the drivers clicking it into gear, they're getting ready to go out. And it's going to be Nelson and Wing on the front row here today. As it looks like Schultz in the number 30 machine didn't get out on track in time. He's going to fall way down the running order. Cody Schultz, number 30 machine, maybe having problems. And we're going to do one more formation lap before sending them out. So yes, Cody Schultz, number 30 machine, starting from pit road, maybe had some sort of problems. Here we go. Pace car comes in. Nelson gets a strong launch. Bianchi picks up a spot early in the number 51 machine. Dive into the inside line of Wing. Here comes Janekin, number 81 machine. He's got Brian Ziegler in tow. Swaps back to the midline in front of Chisnall, number 24. Schultz comes out of pit lane, started his race a little bit delayed. As Schultz gets down to the apron to avoid the race leaders, it's Nelson out front, Bianchi second, Wing third. Wing tags the outside wall. That's going to collect both Janekin and Chisnall to bring out our first caution of the night. Just not much you can do there. Wing tag the wall. I believe is wing tag the wall. Let's watch here. Yeah, wing tags the wall. Tags the number 7. Tags Chisnall. So it looks like it's going to be Janekin, Chisnall. What are they doing? There's drivers crashed. And then everybody comes to a stop. So Janekin, Chisnall, and I believe Nelson took some damage there. Kevin Nelson. So we're going to bring out our first caution of the night. 5 laps in. It's Caleb Nelson out front. Bianchi second. Brian Ziegler third. Nicholas Swing fourth. And Stephen Mioch will make up the top 5 here. Now, no fast repairs here for the Camping Universe Truck Series. We've got Kai Demarest here cheering on his teammate, Spencer Chisnall. So no fast repairs. So if you have problems, you've got big problems early on. We're going to get them gridded back up, send them back out. Let's see if anybody's in pit lane for an extended stay here. It looks like everybody's able to get back out on track. Danny Chandler, Levi Opitz showing as DNS's did not start here today. Levi Opitz saying, didn't get to race due to weather, go get him. So good to see Opitz tuning in, cheering on his friends despite having a bit of tough luck here today. Now with only 12 drivers in the Chase playoff, and you've only got 17 drivers out on track, that means that anytime you see an incident happen, there's a fairly good chance that is going to involve a playoff driver. And we start the Chase here tonight at Bristol, then we go to Darlington, Daytona, Phoenix, and then Martinsville for the championship. Nelson with a great launch. Caleb Nelson, the 07 machine. Bianchi holds on to second. Stephen Mioch, number 95 machine. He has moved up to third, gaining 6 spots here tonight. And then you've got Corey Melton, Jared Ziegler going side by side in the battle for fourth. Who's going to be patient? Who's going to keep the tires underneath them for the duration of the event? As Ziegler and Melton still battling hard for that 4th place spot. When they go side by side, it's going to prevent them to catching up to Stephen Mioch, who's got to be watching this battle in the rearview mirror of the number 95 machine and saying, all right, you guys just hang out back there. I'm going to work on Bianchi up here for second. As now Mioch going to challenge for second place. He's right behind Bianchi. And it's about to be a 3, if not 4 truck battle for second. As Miak's got to be very careful to avoid tagging that outside wall, and he does just that. That'll slow down the run of the number 95 just ever so slightly, as he's doing his best to get that mid to high line working against Bianchi. He's going to look to the inside, going into one, doesn't make a jab at it yet. Jared Ziegler right in tow, the number 8 machine, not going to let Miak or Bianchi get away early on. This is allowing Caleb Nelson out front to have about a half-second advantage over second place Bianchi. Miak still tagging that outside wall, searching for just a little bit more traction to try and make something happen. They're going to link up bumper to bumper down the start-finish line straight. And this is a game of trust. Guys are hitting speeds of about 140 miles an hour on a half-miler. That is absolutely hauling. And with how tight the track is, if there's any incident, Miak tags the outside wall. They're going to go side by side. Jared Ziegler and Antonio Bianchi for second. Ziegler will take over second, capitalizing on the mistake of Miak. So quickly cut through here. Now Bianchi sitting in third in the number 51 machine. Let's see now if Jared Ziegler will be able to catch up to Caleb Nelson. It is about a 1 second gap from Nelson in first to Ziegler. Jared Ziegler in second. Another notable battle. Marshall Newton in the 76 putting the pressure on Corey Melton in the number 48 machine. Janekin in the 81 came back down pit road on lap 20. He was involved in that early incident, maybe trying to get some repairs on the truck in preparation for the long run. Another good battle shaping up between Norman King and the number 28. And Brian Ziegler in the number 7. This is the battle for 8th out on track. As up ahead, these guys are putting on a show. Stephen Miak and Antonio Bianchi going side by side in the battle for third. As you were on board Corey Melton in the number 48, watching Bianchi and Miak battle back and forth. So your current top 5, Caleb Nelson, Ziegler, Miak, Bianchi, and Melton running first through 5th, about 28 laps into today's main event. And a race scheduled to be roughly about 45 minutes long, not counting any cautions or on-track shenanigans we may see. As the tire wear is really going to start affecting these guys. The top 7 has not come in at all here today. Staying out, Bianchi tags the outside wall. That's going to allow Corey Melton up the inside. And Marshall Newton's going to take a look at it as well in the number 76 machine. Tonight is going to be all about tire wear, keeping the lap times as low as they can without cooking up those tires. And now Bianchi trying to work on Melton. Almost got a fender into the number 48 machine. Cody Schultz, number 30 machine, having a rough go tonight, trying to hold the high line to avoid getting into the lead lap drivers. And now we're going to get about a 3-driver race going on for third place. It's Stephen Mioch feeling the pressure from Corey Melton. Then you've also got Antonio Bianchi, Kevin Nelson, Marshall Newton all in the mix here. And Melton's going to make a look to the inside line of Mioch in the number 95. Mioch carries a little bit more speed on the outside, holding on to that position. As you're on board with Corey Melton, who is hugging that inside line as tight as he possibly can, but not quite able to get clear to drift up the racetrack how the truck naturally wants to as you start accelerating. But Melton will take over the pass from Stephen Mioch. Antonio Bianchi tries to make it a 2-for-1. As he looks up to the inside, he will slide up in front of Mioch, do so nice and clean. So now it is Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, Corey Melton, and Antonio Bianchi, and then Kevin Nelson making up our top 5 here. Still have 14 drivers on the lead lap. And there is a max of 3 tire changes available to these drivers. So I think everybody's going to be very mindful on when they do those stops to add those 4 Goodyears back onto the truck. So lap 58, 59, roughly lap 60 is when we can expect these drivers to come in under green flag conditions if the fuel allows them to stretch it out that far. Had that one early caution, and now we're really getting the ball rolling where the lap times are dropping off. Caleb Nelson, your race leader. Oh, Chisnall almost gets involved with, I believe, Corey Melton and Jared Ziegler as they put Chisnall a lap down. That allowed Melton to pick up another spot from Jared Ziegler. What I was saying is the lap times are really going to start falling off here with the tire wear. Already the competitors are about 8 to 9 tenths off of their fastest laps of the race, as these trucks will get very pushy through traffic. And speaking of traffic, look at Melton having to make his way through. I believe that is Jeffrey Sykes and Cody Schultz. No, it's Norman King and Cody Schultz. And this is tough for the lap drivers as well. They want to get out of the way of the race leaders, but you're on a half-mile high bank circuit. Not a lot of places you can really go and avoid staying out of danger here. Chisnall comes back down pit road in the number 24 machine. He has lost 11 spots from where he started here today. As here's the battle for third on screen. Antonio Bianchi, Jared Ziegler going side by side. Two good friends and very talented drivers really duking it out here. Looks like Bianchi has extended his gap to Ziegler to about a half second. And you can't even hear how much the guys have had to back off the pace. Jeffrey Sykes in the 04 machine shows us keep having problems as he's having to jump back to pit lane. Again, he's had a very rough internet connection here today at Bristol. Got another battle going on. Stephen Mioch, Bryton Hutchins going side by side. Mioch in the number 95 on the high side, on the left side of your screen, and the blue and white number 95. Hutchins down low in the bottom group, and the red and white number 84. Right behind them, you've got Clark Schnecken in the 81, who's several laps down here. But Schnecken in the number 81, he is one of those chase drivers. So as long as that truck is able to roll, he's going to keep it going. Get back out there and salvage some points. Another battle going on between Nicholas Wing and Daniel J. Jensen. This will be the battle for 10th here today. Stephen Mioch will be one of the first drivers to come down pit road on lap 61. So we were correct in our assumption that the fuel window would open up for these guys, or most importantly, I guess, the tire window. As most drivers are already about 1 second off of their fastest lap of the race. Caleb Nelson, your race leader, he's going to have company here shortly as Corey Melton has found some speed and closed the gap down to the race leader to about 0.4 of a second. Now I wonder if Nelson is doing a fair bit of tire saving here, or Melton just has really strong late run speed as Melton looks to the inside of race leader Caleb Nelson. By this point in the tire run, it is very tough to make any big moves without risking your race truck or your friends and competitors, as those front ends will really want to plow and push up through the corners. Nelson in the 07 just holding his line, clicking off laps. Melton on the inside groove is not able to get the power down quick enough to complete the pass here. And he may be burning up a little bit more tires compared to Nelson running that mid to high line. To see how long these guys stay out for. Your top four have not pitted all this race. Meanwhile, 5th place Bryton Hutchins, he came in on lap 5 for a pit stop following that early caution. Brian Ziegler in number 7, he's going to come down pit road on lap 71. It appears Chisnall may have retired for the evening at the number 24. As Melton may be able to take over the race lead here, but Nelson's not going to make it easy for the number 48. And now Corey Melton will take over the race lead unless they start lap 74. And this is where things are going to get really dicey. You've got a lot of drivers on mixed tire sets here. Your race leaders have stayed out for 74 laps. Meanwhile, you've got the likes of Stephen Mioch, Cody Schultz, who have just completed their green flag pit stop. They're coming out on fresh tires and should be able to carry over a second a lap faster. Corey Melton must have done a spectacular job saving some tires here, as he has extended his lead to Caleb Nelson to about 1 second early on. Melton nervously cutting through traffic. And I'm very curious to see how long Melton's going to stretch it out for, if he's going to go with an entire tank of fuel, as other drivers are valuing the new tires more so than they are anything. Now, Stephen Mioch pitted on lap 62. He's currently 12th, 3 laps down from your leader, so a pit stop will cost you a minimum about 3 laps here at Bristol. Almost 4 laps. If you take 4 tires and a full tank of gas. So if we stay green, this is going to be very interesting to see how the fuel and tire strategy pays out for the drivers. What's worth more, coming in every 60 laps for a set of tires to be able to go out and stay about 2 laps or 2 seconds a lap faster than your competitors? I think in theory it'd take you about 27, 28 laps to make up that difference here at Bristol and catch up to somebody that has stayed out. As their times drop off, your times get a little bit faster. Great example, Melton's last time by was a 16.16. His fastest lap of the race was a 15.2. So yes, his times have fallen off 86 laps in, but not drastically in the number 48 machine. Meanwhile, Mioch, who came in on lap 62, are a better example. Brian Ziegler, who came in on lap... I will look at Mioch. Mioch, his last time by was a 15.55. He came in on lap 62. They're not quite a second faster a lap than your race leader. And now Melton will have more traffic to contend with. And man, that's got to be a interesting perspective to see as your race leader. As you've got guys again with different tire strategies cutting back and forth across each other's nose, trying to pick up some positions. Meanwhile, you're just trying to keep the front of your Chevrolet clean and try and get through this. Now Melton may be able to make this a one-stop race. He's really stretched it out. Antonio Bianchi, the number 51 machine, he comes down pit road on lap 92. As well as Kevin Nelson in the 09 machine is going to dive down. So as these cycles work themselves out, you only have 4 drivers on the lead lap here today. It's Corey Melton, Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, and Brighton Hutchins. Your top 4 drivers. The top 3 have not pitted at all here today. Brighton Hutchins, the number 84, he came in on lap 5 with that caution. As Melton about 5.5 seconds ahead of Caleb Nelson in second place. Now we've got a lot of other drivers coming down pit road. Nicholas Wing, Daniel Jensen diving down into their pit boxes. How long are our top 4 drivers going to stay out here for? Melton in first place is still holding off strong, clicking off 16.2s. Caleb Nelson clicking off 16.5s. Jared Ziegler also clicking off 16.5s. So Corey Melton, number 48 machine, may be the tire strategy master coming into Bristol today. And we're going to have a crash to throw a monkey wrench in the plans as Brighton Hutchins was in his pit stall. There will be, I believe, 3 drivers on the lead lap. Let's take a look and see what brought out the caution. Not quite sure what happened to Schultz here. Shows up back in the middle of the track. Not sure if he had a big blink or what may have happened to Schultz. So it appears it was a solo truck incident. Now I believe Melton, Nelson, and Ziegler will come down pit road as they are the top 3 drivers, the only 3 drivers on the lead lap. And only 75 laps left to go. They went 100 laps on a set of tires. Brian Robinson is going to get the lucky dog in the number 37 machine. Get back on the lead lap. As a large portion of the field comes down pit road. Did they come down the wrong pit road, I wonder? Yes, I think they did. 2 pit roads here at Bristol. So Corey Melton, your race leader, will come in for the first time here tonight. And now Caleb Nelson and Jared Ziegler will take over the race lead from the number 48 as they have already taken their 4 tires and a full tank of gas. So I believe it's going to be 5 drivers on the lead lap. Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, Corey Melton, Brian Robinson, and Brighton Hutchins. This is going to be interesting. Now you've got 4 drivers on the lead lap, all on the same tire strategy. And we know they can make it till the end on fuel after that long run of about 100 laps that we saw several of the drivers able to pull off. Here we go. Caleb Nelson gets a great launch. Behind him, Jared Ziegler and Corey Melton are going to battle early on. But keep an eye on that number 48 machine, as he was very quick throughout the duration of his run in that opening fuel stint. Caleb Nelson out front. He's got about a 4/10 gap over Jared Ziegler in the number 8 machine. Meanwhile, Ziegler, he's about 4/10 ahead of Corey Melton. They've got about a 3-second gap on Brian Robinson, who is running 4th out on track. Robinson will find himself intermingled with traffic here. But we're going to go back to Corey Melton and see what his strategy is going to be. His fastest lap of the race was about 1/10 off of both Caleb Nelson and Jared Ziegler, but he was extremely consistent over the long run here. I think what we might see is Melton take it relatively easy, the number 48 machine, try and keep the tires underneath him, and then start pressuring Jared Ziegler, Caleb Nelson later on in the run. Not wanting to spin that traction deposit a little bit too early. Melton, really Nelson, Ziegler, Melton, all clicking off almost identical lap times, all with 15.5s that last go around. Right behind Melton, you've got Clark Chineckin, who is several laps down here. It's going to be interesting to see if Melton lets Chineckin by. I'd imagine he would, not wanting to get tied up in somebody else's race, not for position. If Chineckin's willing to put down the laps early on and burn up some tires, let him go and watch to see what he does. Because, again, the camera's focused on Corey Melton. The only position that matters to him is about 2.3 seconds back with Brian Robinson in the number 37 Toyota Tundra. Everyone else right behind him is a lap or several laps down. Oh, looks like Ziegler got a little bit close attacking that outside wall. Newton in the number 76 machine charging hard, trying to get around Chineckin. Put himself in lucky dog contention. Ooh, they're trying to crash behind the race leaders, getting a little bit close to it. Again, up front, it's Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, Corey Melton, Brian Robinson, your top 4. Brighton Hutchins rounds out the top 5. but he is 1 lap down from our race leaders. Starting to catch up to Jared Ziegler in the number 8. Stephen Miak, Antonio Bianchi going side by side. That's the battle for 7th place as they're about 2 laps down from your race leaders. After that late caution that really messed things up during the green flag cycle. These guys doing a good job trying to make some passes and do so cleanly. Corey Melton, he's still within 3/10 of 2nd place, Jared Ziegler. Now, we know Melton is very good at saving tires over the course of a long run. As their last time by, Ziegler and Melton ran identical lap times, both dropping 15.67s. Your race leader, Caleb Nelson, he clicked a 15.59 that last go around. Melton still hanging out right within 3 to 4/10 of 2nd place, Jared Ziegler. Behind Melton, you've got Clark Schnecken, who's several laps down, and the number 81 machine, as well as Marshall Newton in the 76, who is 2 laps down. Now Ziegler getting a little bit closer to your race leader, Caleb Nelson, within 4/10 of a second of the 07 machine. Now Nelson qualified on pole here today, and he's been out front just clicking off laps since that last stop where I believe Corey Melton actually entered the wrong pit lane and cost him a couple positions. We've got 45 laps remaining at the Food City 175 here at the Camping Universe Truck Series. Our opening round of Chase playoffs. As we've seen several good drivers get involved in an incident and have to retire early, as both Chisnall and King and Schultz were all retired early. And all 3 of those drivers, or 2 of those drivers, Schultz and Chisnall, are still in the chase. It's not how they want to start things here today at Bristol, but still have a few more rounds to try and capitalize and maybe hope for a little bit of good luck, while maybe quietly hoping for a little bit of misfortune for some of their competitors. While the top 3 get spread out, the battle for 7th is still pretty heated. It's Stephen Miak, Antonio Bianchi, and Kevin Nelson all in the mix here. Bianchi looks to the inside of Miak. Gets it briefly, but for how long is it going to come up on a slower truck? Daniel J. Jensen had a bit of problems getting it going there. Not sure if he couldn't get the power down or what the issue was. And that's going to cost Bianchi some time and allow Kevin Nelson to make an outside pass in the 09 machine. Oh, Bianchi gets tagged. Hits the outside wall, but we're going to keep it green. And there's the caution as Janekin goes around. And let's see what happened to Clark, if he got tagged by Newton or what the issue may have been. Yeah, just the slightest of contact finished him off, and away he goes. Great save by Brian Ziegler, as well as Miak, and really the majority of the field doing their best to avoid Janekin. We're going to watch that one from one other camera angle, because sometimes it's netcode and we unfairly blame these drivers. Yeah, look at that. Let's back that camera angle up. That's exactly what it is. Look at this. So watch, the front bumper of the number 76 doesn't actually touch Janekin. Gets close enough, and he gets spun around with no contact. Now that second time, contact for sure, but that initial one between Janekin and Newton, just netcode. Bad luck with the how the sim calculates where these drivers are. Top three drivers going to come down pit road: Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, Corey Melton. As now your race leader will be Brian Robinson in the number 37 machine. Caleb Nelson will be taking second place, Jared Ziegler third, and Corey Melton will be fourth for the restart. And I believe Brighton Hutchins will join us on the lead lap in the number 84 machine once he gets out of his stall. This will, I believe, only be the third caution of the night so far. And we've only got about 30 laps left of action here for the Camping Universe Truck Series Food City 175. Again, the first round of Chase Playoffs, where we're taking 12 drivers all the way to the season finale. Your front row will be Brian Robinson in the number 37 machine and Caleb Nelson in the 07. Pace car is in. Robinson gets on the gas, but he's going to be on about 40 lap older tires than Caleb Nelson, Jared Ziegler, Corey Melton here, as they're going to quickly get around the number 37 Toyota Tundra. Jared Ziegler sends it up the inside of Caleb Nelson, almost making contact. Tries to squeeze in front of Melton, but just no room. Melton backs out of it, living to fight another day. Now tire wear no longer a concern for these guys. They're going to try and get the track position, and they're going to try and dominate the line. Nelson with about a 3/10 gap over Jared Ziegler, who's heavily involved with a battle with Corey Melton in the number 48 machine, as Nelson clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 15:05. Ziegler and Melton are going to be going a little bit slower as they are battling hard for that second place spot. And here comes Brighton Hutchins in the number 84 machine. He wants to interject himself in this party for podium contention. About 27 laps left to go. There's not a whole lot more strategy as far as tire wear goes or playing it safe. You're going to see these guys lick the stamp and send it. It's Caleb Nelson out front, Jared Ziegler second, Corey Melton third, Hutchins fourth, and Brian Robinson fifth. Are we going to see any big movers or shakers here? With 26 laps left to go. Melton once again looking at the inside of Ziegler, seeing if he can take a shot at the second place driver. But he's got to be very careful here, as Bryton Hutchins is going to be watching as well to see if he can find a way through. Two laps left to go. These guys are putting on a show. Nelson out front, Ziegler right behind, and then Melton staying with the group here. Lap traffic hops down the apron saying, I want no business in this shootout. The last thing you want to do is take out a friend that may be battling for the lead. As here comes Jared Ziegler in the number 8, trying to put some pressure on Caleb Nelson as they cross the checkered line. 18 laps left to go. These guys running almost identical paces last time by. Ziegler was about 0.05 of a second faster than Nelson. But it's all a game about averages. The average lowest lap time you can do throughout the duration of a run without cooking up those tires and watching your lap times fall off the side of a cliff. Lap traffic may come into play here, hopefully not. I believe that's going to be Kevin Nelson in the 09 machine is going to do his absolute best to hold the outside line. But that does slow down Ziegler ever so slightly and allows Corey Melton, number 48 machine, to take a shot at second place. It is now about 3.5 tenths between Caleb Nelson and second place Jared Ziegler. Only about 1 tenth between Ziegler and Melton. But this is the point where the trucks are going to really tighten up, almost 30 laps on a set of tires. Makes it really tough to make any big moves, many lunges, because you just don't have the traction left at that point in a run. Only 5 drivers on the lead lap as we are 11 to go. Ziegler, the number 8 machine, doing everything in his power to try and catch back up to Nelson. But Melton has other plans. He's looking to the inside of Ziegler, trying to take over that second place spot. Ziegler has the speed and holds him off for another lap. Stephen Miak, number 95 machine, trying to avoid getting into the battle for second. As man, Melton and Ziegler put on a show here. Now Melton has the inside line pretty comfortably, but can he carry the speed out of the corner? He crosses the line, still showing in third. Ziegler had him by a fender. Melton working very hard in the number 48 machine on that inside line. Ziegler may have tagged the outside wall. That's going to allow Melton to take it over, but look at this. Now Ziegler is going to return the favor, diving it in deep into 1 and 2. Gets a bit of a shimmy. Corey Melton will take over second place from Ziegler in the number 8. Man, what a wild night it has been for these drivers. All of these guys put on a spectacular show here today. But I think that may have given the win possibly to Caleb Nelson, your race leader, as he is now about 1.3 seconds ahead of second place Corey Melton. Melton and Ziegler spent so much time battling side by side several laps in a row. Really slowed down their pace and used up a bunch of tires that allowed the race leader to get comfortable and kind of avoid the madness behind them. As Nelson has Marshall Newton ahead of him. Newton is down, I believe, 2 laps here. Or now it's 2 laps. Everybody being very respectful, not trying to make any wild moves that could risk anybody's machinery. And the white flag will fly for Caleb Nelson in the 07 machine. And the checkered is out for Caleb Nelson, bringing home a win. Corey Melton will take second. Jared Ziegler third here today for the first round of playoffs. And I've got to say, a little bit cleaner than I expected it here at Bristol. But overall, fantastic racing. Caleb Nelson going to burn it down, a well-deserved win in the 07 Chevrolet. Always looking clean in that martial arts painted truck, I should say. And a very, very fantastic run. Looked like he was very comfortable in the short run and really just comfortable all the way around here tonight. And again, he's going to burn it down in style, a well-deserved win. As up first, we're going to have Jared Ziegler join us in the number 8 machine. Jared, you brought home a great race at the end of it all. I know you're really fighting hard for second, but you got to be happy bringing home a podium for the first round of Chase playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. It's Bristol. I mean, anything can happen. You saw what happened to Clark, championship leader, going into it and finishes 13th due to a lap 3 incident. So anything can happen at Bristol. I am so glad I got through this clean. I had to start dead last due to penalty from last week, so I got up to like P2 in 19 laps. So I was super happy with that and able to kind of hold on to it. I didn't have a long run speed as what like Corey had and some of the other guys had, but just cautions fell our way right at the end. I was about 10 laps from pitting when that caution came out in the middle, green flag stopped. So I was lucky with that, getting a P3. I'm really ecstatic about that one. So get through this one and hopefully can get some good rounds later on in Chase.
Now, Jared, we only had 3 cautions, I believe, tonight. Was that cleaner than you expected coming in tonight, or what was the expectations going to the half-mile high banking?
No, you don't expect Bristol to go have 3 cautions. I mean, if you do that, you don't know what Bristol is. So everyone did a great job of staying off of each other. I mean, we had that one big wreck at the start. I haven't seen what happened on that one yet, but other than that, it was just kind of a single car spin as far as I could really tell. So yeah, it was super clean. I had some banging, roughing. Uh, I think I hit Caleb or Corey. I went on the inside of Caleb right at the end, right after that last restart, and I decided I need to tuck in or I'm gonna lose position to Corey, and I got a 4X. I don't know which one of them I hit. I think it was more Caleb because I think he wiggled entering the corner, but yeah, it's just fighting for every inch. It's hard, and surprisingly, everyone was clean doing it. So yeah, everyone did a really good job tonight.
Well, you guys ran very clean. I appreciate your time. Before I let you sign off and go celebrate with the rest of the hooligans, who would I like to give a shout out to that's supporting you in the number 8 machine this season?
Uh, Brian Sickler, my dad, it's P number 7, finished P12 tonight, so or P11 tonight, so not exactly sure what happened there. And then Brian Robinson had a really good race, finished P5, got lapped like one on the white flag or something. So he would have been the fifth car, one only top 5 cars finished on the lead lap. So he had a really good strong race too. So thanks both of them, and then thank you for uh, Marshall Newton for doing this really cool paint scheme for me this week. So planning on running it next few weeks, but we have throwback weeks next week, so that one's going to be exciting.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, Jared. I appreciate your time as always, my friend, and congratulations again on a podium for the first round of Chase playoffs.
Thank you very much.
That was Jared Ziegler bringing home a third. Now we're going to get Corey Melton and the number 48 machine up here in the booth. Corey, it looked like you had a good long run speed, and then whenever you had that good drive, a caution came out. Is that what you're feeling down there in the truck as well?
Yeah, pretty much. I knew long run. I felt pretty confident in the truck and what I was doing tire wear wise, and I showed it on that one long run. I caught him and left everybody in the dust, and then the short runs, man, just on fresh tires, it's really hard to make a clean pass. So you just kind of got to ride and play nice.
Yeah, a lot of trust amongst the competitors out there, especially at tracks such as Bristol. I guess good and bad. We had a smaller field here today. Were you expecting a little bit more bumping and grinding than what you saw, or was the bumper to bumper action about what you expected coming into tonight?
No, I think with how the last few weeks have been, I sense some people trying to be a little more give and take this time. At least in my view, there was for 175 laps, I can only count 2 incidents where I think maybe a bad move was made, and it's Bristol, so you're going to make bad moves. So overall, I think it went really well, and I was making sure that I was going to be nice. I was like, this is a race of survival, and if I can survive and be there at the end, we'll see what happens.
And you did so. So again, well, I mean, did you do a lot of practice laps working on different grooves? 'Cause, I mean, the long run speed of the 48 was absolutely insane today, and it seemed like that last caution kind of threw a wrench in the plan. Did you work on long run speed throughout the week, or did that just come naturally to you?
Actually, naturally, man, I haven't been at this track until practice opened up tonight, and I think the longest run I did was 20 laps. So I just, I know how to, I don't know, I know how to take care of the tires, and the few times I get long runs, I usually take full advantage of it.
Well, Corey, a great run out there, put it on the second to highest spot at the first round of Chase playoffs, scoring some much needed points. Before I let you go and sign off, who would you like to give thanks to that's cheering you and the number 48 machine on this season?
Just my teammates, man. Brighton, Clark, Dave, Darren, uh, Jesse, and shout out to Clark. I know he had a rough start, lap 4 being pretty much ruined. So hopefully he can bounce back next week.
Well, awesome. Corey, thank you as always for your time, man. Congratulations on a great run, and hope to see you do well in the rest of the chase.
Thanks, James. Have a good night.
You as well, sir. And up next, the man of the hour, Caleb Nelson in the '07 machine, put on the top spot the first round of Chase playoffs. You've got to be ecstatic right now, my friend.
It definitely doesn't feel bad, I'll say that.
No
So,
doubt. I mean, did you have a good plan coming into tonight? What was the plan coming into tonight?
plan coming into tonight was to survive. The dig a double last week did a number on me. I didn't finish either one of those, but oh wait, no, I did finish the first one. Never mind. But it's playoff start. You gotta survive. You gotta have good runs to beat people like Jared, Clark, Corey. All of them. They're gonna be consistent. So you need to not only survive, but you need solid finishes. And here at Bristol, track positions pretty key. So getting a good Q lap was very important there.
Now, we've got Darlington next week. We've got Legacy, Daytona, Phoenix Raceway, Martinsville for the remainder of the chase rounds. Are any of those tracks that jump out to you and go, yes, I'm really comfortable there? Or other tracks that you're thinking, oh, God, I don't want to be here?
Well, after last week, I'm not really looking forward to more super speedway racing, but short tracks are kind of my wheelhouse. I love those things. So having 3 of the 5 at short tracks is going to be fun. Darlington, we raced there last season in the Xfinity cars, and I had a great run. So I'm hoping that translates to the truck, but you're gonna have to put a lot of practice in to get that same feel. So the only one that I'm looking to skate through is at the moment Daytona.
Yeah, I think that's going to be we call it the draft gamble in the broadcast booth. It doesn't matter if you do everything right. There's still a fairly good chance someone's going to ruin your evening. So hopefully you're able to avoid that. We're definitely going to be rooting for you, picking up your second win of the season here tonight. Last time you won was the August 31st at Chicagoland. So good to have you back on the top box after a series of seconds and fourths. You looked great out there, Caleb. Who would you like to give a shout out to that's cheering you on this season?
I gotta thank my dad, my teammates, my dad, Kevin, Marshall, Newton, does an incredible job. Was able to go out and get this win in the Pink Truck Breast Cancer Awareness Month that Newton did up for me. It looks really good. So gotta thank all of them, and Jared, Brian for putting this on, you for broadcasting. It's always great to go back and take a look at this.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys make it easy to make it exciting. Caleb, congratulations once more on a win, and let's see if you can keep up that streak in the remainder of the chase rounds.
All right, thanks. You have a good one.
You as well, sir. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for the Food City 175 here at the Camping Universe Truck Series, where Caleb Nelson was able to put it on the top spot, Corey Melton second, and Jared Ziegler third. But what is certain is this is going to really shake things up for the remaining chase competitors, as we saw a few fast drivers get sent back to the hauler early tonight. So we're going to have some work to do in the remaining rounds. As always, on behalf of the Camping Universe Truck Series, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you so much for spending your evening with us, and we will see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.